Hi, my name's Kimberly Moulton. I'm the curator for the Tarrawarra Biennial 2025 We Are Eagles. We Are Eagles is an exhibition of 23 artists, and there are 22 living contemporary artists and one ancestor maker. And the exhibition looks at themes of regenerative practice and artists that are considering their connection to place, country, the cosmos, more than human kin. And it extends with artists that are First Peoples from Australia, but also other artists that now call Australia home and have many cultural connections across the globe. We Are Eagles title comes from a really important moment in the political history of Aboriginal people in this country. And that moment is called the Day of Mourning, which happened in 1938. And it was a gathering of Aboriginal leaders that came together to talk about the rights of our people. They came together to talk about citizenship, equality, and to really consider, what was happening with First Peoples at that time. Pastor Sir Doug Nicholls is a Yorta Yorta leader, and he said at that gathering, "We don't want chicken feed. We aren't chickens. We are eagles." And that stayed with me for a really long time, and it's so poetic, and it speaks to not only cultural assertion, but the freedom to soar in ancestral knowing. And I'm working with that sentiment for We Are Eagles and using it as an anchor for the exhibition. There are 3 themes that run through the exhibition, which are regenerate, disrupt coloniality, and restore the spirit. And so the artists have responded to these 3 pillars through We Are Eagles, and looking at their practices in different ways and looking at themes of regeneration through language revival, through sharing story, through materiality, so researching cultural materials. I like to say cultural belongings or cultural materials, but some people know them as artefacts or objects in museums, and reclaiming that space. Disrupting coloniality can come in many ways. It can come through critically examining the collection histories of museums and the colonial realities of place. And then to restore the spirit. Spirit in my language, in Yorta Yorta language, is Mulana. And the spirit can mean many things. It can mean the essence of being, who we are as people, our histories, our ancestors, and our lands. And as a guest on Australia too, we all have connections to place. And so in restoring the spirit, the artists are referencing ancestral knowledges, they're bringing back languages, they're critically looking at place now and in the past, and really kind of, working in this circular temporal space of time where the past and the present and the future are all meeting. It was important to me to also represent Yorta Yorta artists and regional artists. This is a biennial of contemporary Australian art, experimental Australian art, and experimental curatorial practice. And so when I think about artists and what's happening in Australia, I immediately think to the regions as well, and there's such important work happening. And I have a relational and ancestral connection to Yorta Yorta country, and so it was important to me to have Yorta Yorta artists in this exhibition as well. But then branch out from that and represent artists that are from across the country that have many different cultural connections to place here, but also transnational connections. So global kind of context to their work is really important to me as well. We also have in the exhibition an ancestor maker, and that maker is from the 19th century. Their name wasn't recorded when the boomerang that they made was collected. And we have that in the exhibition. And then it's restoried, its spirit has been renewed by artist Brooke Wandin, a Wurundjeri woman who has responded to this object and to, provide a new story that is embedded in culture and embedded in the land that it comes from. For over 100 years, it's sat in the Melbourne Museum collection. And its story was that it was found under a top layer of soil in Royal Park around 1920. And it's a toy boomerang, so it's a child's boomerang. In the language of the Wurundjeri, it's Wingamu Bubupal, a child's boomerang. And so I've been working with Brooke for over the last year and a bit to consider its history and then to restory it in the living culture of Aboriginal Victoria today. And so it's an honour to have the ancestor maker in this exhibition, which is looking at contemporary art, but it's also looking at the way we engage with history through contemporary art.